Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for stopping in to see me today. I appreciate it, whether this is the first time you've seen me or you are a subscriber. I hope that you leave every video of mine with a smile on your face. So thanks for stopping by. This one's going to be a short and sweet video. I do have something to follow up with you about. A project that I did in the past and I wasn't sure where to go with it, and now it's done, so I want to show you that. But the star of the show today is going to be this scarf. Oh goodness, I just lost my brain there for a minute. It's the scarf. I had two tiny little skeins of what is it, merino wool, 100% merino wool. This is from Willow yarns, and it had two different grays and on the dark and two different grays on the light, and so I thought that the color flow would go nicely. The scarf that we see here done with the pattern is in tide pool colors, so I really like the way the different blues are flowing through here. Now this pattern, the measurement is approximately 6 inches wide, which mine is, and they did one that's approximately 78 inches long, which is 98 centimeters. And I kind of get a little bit wigged out if I'm trying to pay attention to how the color is playing out. I thought it was a really nice weight to maybe do a cowl and do a wraparound twice, but where I was going to end up at 78 inches didn't work with my colors symmetrically. So, you know, it's the same amount here that it is here, you know, the same length, the same amount of light gray to the dark gray type of thing. So this looks even to me. And if I was going to continue to the 78 inches that they did, in my opinion, it would have been too long. So I wasn't sure where I wanted to stop until the colors played out, and I put it on like this, and it's kind of a half and half, you know, and that's symmetrical if you ask me. And I really enjoyed it. It's got a nice soft texture. So yeah, let me show you closer up. It's one that's really hard to go by because you're chaining a different amount each time. It's a 5-row repeat, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-row repeat. And so for me, it was really hard to do anything else. Anytime I was working on this, I had to pay super close attention to how many I was chaining and where I was putting my double crochets. And oh my goodness, it's lovely. I just keep staring. Sorry. So first, and I only have a black and white printer. So first I print out my 2 pages, which is like this. They give you the diagram as well. And they've got the 2 pages. So the repeat starts with row 3 right here. So I cut that off. This is how my brain works on these repeat ones. And I have to put this in such a way that I am working 3rd row, 4th row, 5th row, 6th row, 7th row, 8th row. Start again. 3rd row, 4th row, 5th row, 6th row, 7th. But just like any pattern, they say a whole lot of extra stuff in there. So like for my notes, I just tell myself to go into the space. I don't need to say that it's a chain 3 space. I know that I don't care how many chains it is, it's a space. And so I would see the chain 3 and get confused with where I was. Reading in a paragraph style like this does not work for me. So what I do is I lay it all out in a much easier to read format. So, I mean, this might be as simple gets, but I got these little paper clip or clothespins is what they are. I drew an arrow on that one because I'm a goof. And so here's my row 3, and I have to just make it easy for my eye to look down and see what my next stitch is going to be. What do? I chain 5 and then I skip. And at the end of that row, I should have 19 stitches. So this is the way that my brain works. And then I go down. So that if I stop at any point, this guy is pretty stuck on there. I mean, I don't jam this into a project bag. This is usually sitting down where I'm sitting down at my computer. which is kind of a couch, so that's not really like I'm sitting at a desk, but it sits still so that this guy doesn't come off too easily. But then I can easily see where I am, see my repeats, and then I should have that many stitches. And then I just work my little arrow down, whoops, and then I know where I'm at. I know where I'm working at. So I have to do that when I'm going to do something that has even 2 repeats. I have to sort of set up a little easy cheat for my eye. I don't want to have to read it every time. I just need to know how many there, how many there, how many there, how many there, how many there. So that's how my brain works. I start into putting it in this kind of a format, and then if it's too much words, and you know, quite frankly, there's a lot of you that may be able to just see where you're at. I mean, it's an obvious pattern. So you know, here, let me put this behind, it's easier. So you know, the base of it has 1, and then the next row has 3 double crochets, and then the next row has 5, and then 3, and then 1. And you're just alternating that. So a smart person could possibly, just sit and crochet the pattern out and just understand where you're at, but that's not me, and I'm way more freaked out about making a mistake. So I would much rather spend the time to go over my little cheat note than to think I've got it and go working through and then find that I've missed one somewhere. So I absolutely loved it. And for any of you Star Trek fans out there, when I was working this, all I could think about was the Voyager episode called The Thaw. And I'll put in the pictures here. And for those of you who don't maybe understand what this reference is, this was some people were going to put themselves into stasis while there was a bad storm coming, and then it was supposed to wake them all from stasis and they would all be safe and fine. Well, while they were hooked up to the life support on the computer, somehow fear was characterized. So while they were asleep, they were dreaming from the computer, and this creepy fear character was in there. And you'll see, I'm putting in the pictures here, you'll see that his face is this color. And I didn't realize that the whole time. My little skein is sitting up on the shelf. I think it's so cute. And I had no idea until I started working with this. And then I just freaked out at the idea, at the memory of that episode. And so I instantly had to pull it up on Netflix and watch it right then. Or it's not on Netflix anymore. Now it's on Paramount. Ownership of all this, I'm telling you. But anyway, so I enjoyed the reference to an episode that I think is a good one. And I thought it was a beautiful pattern. So whether you have any of the Red Heart Croquet that the pattern was set to use with, whatever. And this was with a 3.75 millimeter hook, whereas this called for a 3.25. So I did want it to be a little bit more drapey, and I'm not going to block it. I didn't know if I was going to have to or not. The pattern's so pretty. I didn't know, and I don't think it's necessary. So here's another one of my new shirts. Love, 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 love is love. I love love, love everyone, and I love crochet. So anyway, okay, so star of the show, new shirt. And for those of you who remember when I did, here, I'll put in a little clip right here. I started this blanket from somebody, I think her name is Allison Russell, and she's so awesome to listen to. But so it's this fillet of heart, I don't know how to say that. This fillet pattern where there's the heart in between. Here's against the solid. So I guess you can kind of tell what it is. I don't know. I had it laid down on the table when I finished this first row, and it was really, really hard to see for me, and I wasn't loving it. So here's what hook I was using so I don't forget. So yeah, so what would you do with it? Here's the border where you start, and then you work your way up, and you count space, chain space, so that you create that grouping that shapes the heart. But I don't know, I wasn't loving it, and I didn't want to tear it out because it was a lot of work, a lot of counting. All of these spacings have to be so specific. So I mean, I think it's a great pattern. She does it like in one block like this, like you could do, if you just did one square and maybe did a bag out of it, a little cute little bag or something like that. But each one is bordered like here's 2 double crochet together, not together, next to each other. See, 2 double crochets there. It's acting like a border to each block. And then there's 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't know. Again, it was just kind of hard to see, so I didn't keep going with it. I don't want to do another 4 or 5 rows of this to make a blanket. So, and it's kind of short to be a shawl. Maybe I can make it a cowl, let it go like that. I don't know. It wouldn't be too bad. It's kind of cute. But with the roving pinks and reds and stuff, this is where I pulled colors to use for Pamela's crochet, Pamela's Adoring Crochet Flower Garden Scarf. Yeah, I pulled out the reds and the pinks from here to make my little flowers. So this is what am I going to do with it? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, because it didn't turn out the way I wanted to, and it was too much work to pull out. So it sits like that, and I have, I don't know, another 3 or 4 rolls of that red and pink back behind here. So what I did was I just decided to put it into a blanket. So here's the bottom. Let's get up to the top. Here's the spot with those hearts across the top. So what I did was to continue the flow that the skein fed automatically. I did the pink up at the top, and then worked the rest of, I think I had about 3 or 4 cakes and some pieces, so I got the bulk of it used, and I just did every other row, not every other row, I did a row of doubles, and then chain 1, skip 1, and then a row of doubles, and then I did that again, doubles, chain 1, skip 1, doubles. And so I thought it really was a good use of the yarn. I thought that the hearts ended up looking okay with it, like it looks like it goes. And then I just did, you know me, in my single crochet border using each of the colors. That's the front, that's the back, sorry, there's the front. And this was with Sweet Roll, and I think the colorway is called Pink Swirl. Pink Swirl. So these are old. I had them for quite some time, and after making that heart fillet, I wasn't sure what to do, and so I just have a handful of leftovers. So not sure where that will go, but I like that pink so much because it's kind of like a heathered color. It's kind of like a heathered. But anyway, I do love a cake, a color changing skein. And these, there are short changes, you know, it's only a couple of rows that you go before the color will change again. I'm working on some right now on a blanket with an Ogo, and it's such a far group of color between the changes. I like when they're a little bit quicker to change like that. I think it gives up so much more options of what you're going to do with it, because with that Ogo that I'm using for something else that has big sections, you can't, like if you're going to do squares or something, your whole square would be that color. Or to break it up into do a hat or something, the whole hat would be that color. So that one was kind of a thought process as to what yarn I would use to best display the colors, how long it takes for them to change over, you know. But anyway, back to the Sweet Roll. If you have Sweet Rolls and love them like I do, that's what I did. So I'll link the video for the heart fillet down below in case you enjoy that enough to do it. It wasn't my cup of tea, so different strokes, different folks and stuff. So all right guys, so I just wanted to give you that update on that heart fillet that was in my unfinished. That is one of those that is finally done, and it wasn't initially in the unfinished things, like I started it and didn't finish it. It's a project that didn't work and it got put to the side, and then I kind of forgot about it because I put it in with the rest of the yarn. So that's one of the other directions that I'm motivated to use a certain kind of yarn, is if I need a cubby, I'll just have to use that so I can clear out the cubby and use it for something else. Alrighty guys, that's what I've got to share with you today. I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day, and I really hope you come back to see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.